everybody, it's Mrs. Switek with Davy, and today is May the 4th. A lot of people say it's Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. So we thought we would share a space story with one of our friends that we've already met. Remember we read Harold and the Purple Crayon? Well, this story is Harold's Trip to the Sky by Crockett Johnson. One night, Harold got up, made sure there was a moon so he wouldn't see things in the dark, and went to get a drink of water. He wondered about the things people see in the dark and where they came from. He was glad he couldn't see them in the moonlight. Suddenly, he realized he didn't see anything at all in the moonlight. There was nothing to see. He was in the middle of a desert. No wonder he was so thirsty. But luckily, he had brought his purple crayon. And he knew where to find some water on the desert. There was always a pool of it somewhere near a palm tree. Harold drank deeply. There is nothing like drinking nice cool water on a desert. But there isn't much else to do on a desert. Harold looked around, except maybe play in the sand. But then he remembered how the government has fun on the desert. It shoots off rockets. Harold decided to go to the moon. On a good fast rocket, he figured he could get there and back in time for breakfast. He fired the rocket and off he went. But the rocket missed the moon. It missed it by a mile. And Harold went up, 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 up and up he went into the dark. He tried to see where he was going by the stars. He tried planets and comets. What he really needed to light his way was another moon. But when Harold looked closely, what he saw wasn't a moon. To his amazement, it was a flying saucer. Harold had heard about flying saucers. People saw them in the dark, and nobody knew who was inside flying them. He decided he had better land his rocket right away. He landed it with a bump on the bottom of a strange planet. There was no danger of falling off so big a planet. However, Harold thought he would feel a little more comfortable up at the top. He wondered what planet he was on. In the dark of the stars, he looked for some sign that might tell him. He was on Mars. Harold had heard of men on Mars, so he yelled a couple hellos, hopefully. He thought of flying the saucer out of there. He thought of the things that people could see in the dark. He felt a great need for company. He was sure any man on Mars would be nice to a visitor like Harold, who had come all this way just to chat with him. He had to draw on his scanty knowledge of what a man on Mars might look like, but his looks wouldn't matter in the dark, so Harold didn't care much what he turned out to look like. All Harold wanted to know was if there were some friendly face close by, even if he couldn't see it clearly in the dark. And then, all of a sudden, Harold did see it clearly. It was the face of a thing. It was a thing people see in the dark, and it was sitting in a flying saucer. Harold ran. And then he thought and stopped. Probably the thing was about to fly to Earth and scare somebody, maybe even a little child. Bravely, Harold went back. He approached on tiptoe so the thing wouldn't hear him, and he reached out with his purple crayon, and he put a completely damaging crack right into that flying saucer. Before the thing could grab him, he was off again, chuckling triumphantly. He ran as fast as he could in the dark. Happily, most of the way was downhill. He hoped he wouldn't fall head over heels. He arrived safely, heels over head, at the bottom of Mars, where his rocket was. But by this time, Harold had had enough of adventure. He wanted to get home in a dependable way. So he climbed down on the stars. It was sure, but slow, and the points of the stars hurt his feet. Harold wished he were home. He recalled that the best way to wish is on a good big shooting star. Instead of wishing, it occurred to him at the very last moment to just jump aboard. He shot right down to Earth, where he made a neat 2-point landing. He hadn't passed the moon on the way, and he wondered what had happened to him. It wasn't around anywhere. And then he realized the night was just about gone, and it was time for the sun to come up. He was hungry. The sun appeared right on time. It came up big and bright, and Harold remarked that it was going to be a nice day. Nobody was ever bothered by flying saucers and things in the sunshine. But for one startled moment, he thought he saw a flying saucer. It was on the horizon, looking as if it had just come to land. He was mistaken. It wasn't a saucer, it was an oatmeal bowl. Harold happened to like hot breakfast. He quickly drew up a chair and he sat down to eat. I hope today you go out and enjoy the beautiful weather, and tonight maybe you look up at all the beautiful stars and enjoy a space-themed day on May the 4th. Go to a galaxy far, far away. Goodbye.